Welcome to my porch, and this is episode 4 of the Wake9 porch, and I'm here with my buddy Kevin.
Hello.
Sometimes referred to as my friend.
Oh, that's a strong word. It's a strong word.
It is a strong word.
I'll let it slide today, though.
Are you saying it's not mutual?
Well, you know, I mean.
Yeah, and you know, when I've done this before, I like when I did this with Mike. You know, we went over our topics and we kind of talked about, you know, how we were going to discuss things. I didn't do any of that with Kevin.
No idea what we're doing.
Yeah, I kind of gave him a basic idea, but the reason for that is there is never an awkward pause with Kevin. I was not worried that we were going to ever have a point where you were going to just like sit there and go,
shut up.
Yeah, you never shut up.
There is a delay button, right?
No. Oh, Kevin.
No.
This is PG, Kevin. Got to be good.
Okay.
Got to be good. So anyway, we are having a good time today, and one of the reasons why I didn't tell Kevin is because I just felt like this would be the best if it was spontaneous. So we have some great weather today. It's been rainy though, right?
It has, but you know, I don't mind the rain here. It's warm rain, and I mean, I'll stand out in the rain.
It's been
build my
amazing.
deck in the rain. It's fine with me. Yeah.
No deck jokes. Let's just move on.
I said deck.
Okay, we're good. And we're going to talk more about what it's like moving from California to Tennessee, and we can talk about the weather and stuff more. Now, you haven't heard from us for a while. This is a very late start for Wake9. I mean, normal April, May, and then, you know, the weather in Tennessee, it's a little better to wait for like late May, early June. But we've had a few things. One, my daughter Maddie, she just had her second baby a few weeks ago, and we went out to visit them in Humble, Texas, and so that took a big portion of time, and then I had to go to Washington, D.C. for work, and then our boat has been late getting ready, and it should be done next week, and man, we're excited.
Sounds like a lot of excuses, Rob.
It is a lot of excuses, but Kevin, you know how much I love the SE. And
as I do.
Yes, and this is an SE year.
Yes.
So we're going to have a 2023 Supra SE 550, and man, I am so stoked about that boat. I can't wait. You're going to find out a lot more about that when that happens.
I hope they don't give you thrusters this year, so you have to learn how to drive.
Oh, dude, have to learn how to drive again?
Yeah,
I don't want to learn how to drive
Drew,
again.
Don't give him thrusters.
Don't give me thrusters. You know, we should start on that little topic, because this is a hot topic. Because whenever you talk to anybody, okay, who's the idiot who ordered thrusters? It's
right.
like the hardcore community is like, you don't need no thrusters. And I was definitely on that camp because they're expensive.
Super expensive.
They're expensive.
Yes.
And it's like, no, but, you know, when Supra says, hey, try this boat out, and the boat has thrusters, what am I going to do? So I'm not going to take that boat? And then am I not going to try it? So I thought, well, I'm going to go give these.
I'm going to disconnect them.
I'm going to disconnect.
Yeah, I'm going to disconnect.
I'm going to hook them up to my blow dryer.
Yeah.
So I get those thrusters. Oh my gosh, do I love those thrusters. And I would probably, gosh, I hate saying this, I'd probably buy them. They're so good because, one, if you go down and look at them, they look pretty bulletproof. I mean, they're made out of metal.
Yeah.
It's just an electric motor.
Pretty sure it's aluminum.
I said metal.
It's an alloy.
It's an alloy. I didn't say plastic. That's what I meant. They're metal versus plastic.
Okay. Oh, yeah. They are. They're solid.
Yeah, they seem very solid. And so that's a good thing. But let me tell you, we have a couple of ramps, one especially our home ramp here at Norris Dam. When you come down, it is then extremely narrow. And so when you come down in Lake Oroville, remember Lake Oroville Marina?
Oh, yeah.
It was like that too. You come down and then you have the dock. So you have this tiny room and then you got to do a turn. And you know, if you're a good driver and you practice that, that's fine. But
if you're Rob,
yeah, when you back up and you just crank that thing over and your boat just spins around and you go, and it does it on a dime.
It's pretty awesome.
It is pretty awesome. And there's another part of it too. This is a part that I didn't realize with the thrusters, is that when you're reversing, okay, you can use the thrusters to keep yourself or move.
To steer in reverse.
Yeah, it's kind of like steering.
Because you can't steer in reverse.
Right, you can't steer in
we
reverse.
All know that.
Yeah, but you can with thrusters.
With thrusters, yeah.
So when you're wake surfing, I have found it saves a ton of time, because when you pick people up, you can turn around and reverse really quickly and get right to them and put the boat exactly where you want. And on top of that, when it's windy and you get out of whack, you can keep it where you want to. So it really is helpful during wake surfing. And you know, Kevin, you made fun of me mercilessly when I told you that I liked my thrusters, but I do. I love my thrusters.
No, they are pretty great.
Yeah, and
I'm just jealous because I don't have thrusters.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. You know, I think that's part of it.
I have to.
Yeah,
make fun.
it makes sense. And you can.
But you can't drive, so
yeah.
I mean, there's that too.
You say that just because I crashed
ran over a tree in my boat.
I ran over a tree
in my boat.
I did. I ran over a tree.
Yeah. We cut the tree in half. You cut it in half.
I did. It was it wasn't a piece of driftwood, I would say. It was kind of like a tree.
Well, there is something to say about driftwood in Norris versus California driftwood.
Yeah.
Little different.
Yes, see, I think I made a follow-up video on this, is that when I was in California, I did a video. I said, hey, if you see driftwood, just go through it.
Chop it up.
Yeah, just run through it. Just, you know, think of your boat as a margarita blender.
Yeah.
I mean, right? Yeah. You can.
Wood chipper.
And here's why. Because in California, it's all pine.
Yeah, softwood.
It's all pine. And then not only that, it's waterlogged.
Yeah.
So literally, when you hit it, it just...
Mush.
It's mush. You go through it, you clear it, you keep going. Okay. In Tennessee,
it's petrified.
It's like
a rock,
man.
It's like a rock.
It's hard. It's really hard. And when you smack that, it does more than damage your prop. It bends the shaft. I bent the shaft on my boat. I bent the shaft on his boat in the same year. And yeah, I haven't heard the end of that. But we had a really good session after. We'll have to talk about that.
But you still get a new boat every year. They still give you boats.
I don't know why. I had to pay for it. I did. I had to go through my insurance and everything. It cost me like a couple grand. I don't remember.
Oh, yeah.
So it was definitely expensive. Yeah. So
good times.
Yeah, good times. But I thought we'd have to start. So we're going to talk about a few things. We're going to talk about. I want to talk about just how we met and stuff, because it's a pretty funny story.
The real story? Or?
The real story, yeah.
Wow.
The real story. And then moving to Tennessee. And then I thought we could talk about, Kevin used to be a staunch Malibu owner. Very staunch Malibu.
I've had eight Malibus, I believe.
Yeah, 8 Malibus.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize it was that much.
Yeah, 3 new ones and like 5 used ones. I started with used ones and then finally got enough to buy a new one.
Wow, that's crazy. So before we get into that, let's talk about how I met Kevin. And I don't have any notes, and I'm going to kind of pull out my cigar here as I go. Kevin, you have your tasty beverage of choice?
Oh yeah, a big tall water. It's not vodka. It's actually water.
yeah. And me with my lemonade.
Yeah.
And so basically, I met Kevin. You know, most of my wake surf friends in the last 10 years have been through Wake9. Because we do Wake9, and then when people meet us, they knew us because they saw us first on Wake9. So it always seemed to come through that. It was very rare that we have wake surf friends that we would meet.
Well, when people see you, they can't miss you.
Yeah, that's true. Although I've lost a good amount of weight, I'm doing pretty good.
You absolutely have.
I'm doing pretty good. So anyway, we were going. What was that event? It was on the Delta.
It was on the Delta. Yeah.
It was on the Delta. I don't remember what it was called. It was with Dan Savaggio and the West team put on this event in the Delta. Yeah. Now, if you're not familiar with the Delta, I would say the Delta could be listed as one of the reasons to move to Tennessee. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was not a big fan of the Delta.
It is. First, it's stank water. Yeah.
That's being nice,
It's stank water. Yeah. You'll be going down a little channel, and all of a sudden a ship will come next to you, or some huge
barge.
Yes, and on the Delta, they think it's fine as long as you have 6 feet between you and your boat, and no more than a 40-mile-an-hour difference. You're good.
Oh yeah.
It's nuts.
And the depth fluctuation. I mean, you'll go from 30 feet deep to 2 feet deep and not even realize it, and it changes seasonally. Yeah. It's not the same every year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then there's the ramps.
The ramps.
Yes. The dreaded ramps. And what was the name of that marina that we went to?
You know, I don't remember.
I don't remember it either. I'll have to maybe add it to the note afterwards. But we had this marina, and the way this marina worked is that, so you came in, and then basically it was kind of flat, and then it just
straight
dropped out, and it was not a gradual angle. It like went boink like that, and it was like this. It was steep, okay. And now the other part of this is I had just changed from being a Chevy guy to my Ford F-150 with the EcoBoost, and I love that thing. It had so much power. It's a 2011, and so I was excited to prove, that it could do certain things. And I was actually filming at that time some amazing hills. I took my boat out of the Oroville when there was no water, so I was in the mud with four-wheel drive, and it just no problem with the RZX, which is a big old huge boat, just like they are now. And well, I thought I should be able to do this ramp. I didn't know Kevin yet, really. I knew of him. And actually, I did know you, but I didn't know you well.
Well, everyone's heard of me.
Yeah, everybody's heard of
or
Kevin.
heard me.
And then here's the thing: I didn't
From
have
afar.
And Kevin knows this. This is not news. I did not have a good impression of Kevin.
Probably not.
I did not. And here's a couple reasons
rub
why.
people the wrong way.
He can rub people the wrong way. Kevin has no filter, and I'm literally there's a convent of nuns behind us that are praying that we don't go offline.
Jesse's hands on the outlet plug to unplug this thing at any moment, right?
Yes. Kevin doesn't have a filter. That's a problem. I mean, it's bad. Like, you can come in and you can say, "Hey, Kevin, I'd like you to meet the pastor of our church," and here's his wife, and Kevin might say, "Oh, have you had work?" He just says things that are on his head, and you're like, "Oh, geez, Kevin." Yeah. But the other part is Kevin literally has the energy of like a teenage squirrel, I would say. You do. How old are you? You're like almost 50 now.
I'm 50. Yeah,
He's 50.
I'm 50.
Kevin,
I'm 50 years old.
50. Kevin's energy level now could be, obviously I'm an engineer. I work behind a desk. My energy level's a lot less, so there is a comparison there. But anybody that knows Kevin knows he is a very high energy person. But it's always on. And so when I would see him, and I met him on his houseboat with other people there. He had like a party, and Kevin is like, "Hey Rob," and "Hey guys, how you doing?" And he's just really excitable. And after a couple times of meeting him, I told Amy, I go, "That guy's on drugs. That guy's like."
I've been told that a few times.
I'd like life. That guy is on coke or something. He's got to be. I probably shouldn't even say that on YouTube. I might have to edit that out. Kevin seemed altered. Let's just put it that way.
Altered state of reality.
And so I kept my distance a little bit because that's how I thought it was. But and at the time when we were at my first meeting to Kevin, I was still under that impression.
Right.
I was still under the and this first meeting didn't help that at all. It didn't help that at all. So we're so that's the history. My truck. And Kevin is jacked up, and
I do not partake in
No. Oh yeah, I probably should have said that.
Everyone assumes I partake in because
I probably should.
I do drink Coors Light though.
Yes,
that's part
Kevin
of the story.
Yeah, that's
Coors
coming
Light.
up. That's coming up in the story.
Yeah.
But no, Kevin does not do any type of hard
illicit,
alterating materials.
Devil's dust or whatever
devil's dust. Yeah. So anyway, I get this idea that I want to back my truck in there, and because when you pull up, they have tractors. They have a bunch of tractors. And at the time, what is it? It's like $5.
Yeah, $5, big deal.
You pay them $5. They hook up to your boat and they drop it in for you.
Yeah, you unhook your boat from the vehicle, and then they'll use the tractor to load it in. Yeah. And this is so you're saying this is the F-150, and then the boat was the SE 550 at the time, right?
No, the boat was the RZX.
Oh, this was back in the Taiga.
Yes.
Yeah, oh, gotcha,
yes.
gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
My memory fails. That's a big boat too.
Actually, no. This was the boat before the RZX. So it was the
Z3?
2015 Z3.
Z3. Okay.
Yes, it was the Z3.
And that's a big boat.
It's still a big boat, but not as big as the RZX.
Right.
So I say we could back it in. I'm going to back it in, and I'm going to back it in for my son Thomas. Now the Mexican guy comes around. He's all, "Give me $5," and I'm like, no, I'm going to back it in myself. And he looks at me like, it's $5.
That's an F-150.
Yeah, it's $5. And he goes, "You have a diesel?" "No, this is no diesel." I go, "No, it'll be fine." No, give me $5. And I'm like, "Look, it's okay. I got it." And he's like, "Okay, Okay, but you can't take it out without you have to use the tractor. Because when you drop in, coming up is easy because you don't have a boat. But I didn't want to try taking it out later and not at least first back up and feel, how it felt and everything. So I go, it's in 4-wheel drive, it did it no problem, obviously. Backs up, drops it in and go. And I'm planning on picking it up that way. Now the problem though is that I only had my son Thomas with me and Jesse, and I think I had somebody drive the boat because while I backed up, I filmed this. I actually have the video somewhere. So I had Thomas filming on the shore, me backing the thing in, but I knew when I take it out, I have to drive the boat. So I got to find somebody to drive.
The truck,
and that's not going to be Kevin, but anyway, we're getting there. So we go out all day. Now I'm go out all day, and all I'm thinking about is that I'm going to have to deal with this
ramp.
Deal with this later. And I meet Kevin out there. Hey, Kevin. And again, I don't know him very well, and I'm a little bit wary of him at the time. And so we have our day, and the time's coming, and I found somebody that I knew. I don't even remember who it was. Let's say his name was Mike. And I asked him if he would drive the truck for me. And I went over this like 100 times. Okay, I'm going to have you in the truck. You got to put it just in 4-wheel drive. Just right in 4-wheel drive, and make sure you have to, after when you back up, make sure it's in 4-wheel drive, and then you're going to pull out. And when I get up, because he had to go get the truck as well, it would be in 2-wheel drive because I didn't drive to the parking lot in 4-wheel drive. So he had to put it in. And I went through how to put it in, make sure it's in there ahead of time. Okay, did all that. He's like, okay, I got this, no problem. Now you have to understand that this ramp where it is, it's literally, there's a restaurant and a ramp and then like a market shop and an ice cream shop. It's like an entertainment area. And if you know Northern California ramps, or you watch those videos where people are watching people coming in and out, there's people that just do that. They're just watching because there's always mayhem.
I enjoy that sometimes.
Yeah. And I wonder why you were just sitting there, Kevin. Yeah. So Kevin,
I was one of the onlookers. Kevin
is over, like, I think he was by the bar, a restaurant area, and he had Coors Light. And you know the pose from people. He's got a beer in one hand and he's sitting there. And as we go, and I pull up, and Mike goes and gets the truck, and he backs in. And I'm trying to be real calm. My heart rate's going 130. I'm already nervous. And already people are going, who's the crazy guy that's not using the tractor?
$5.
That's an F-150. What the heck? And this is before those EcoBoosts really had kind of a reputation for having that kind of power. And so people start coming and paying attention, and they're looking. And Kevin, he's coming up and he's walking up, and he sees Thomas filming, and he's looking, and he goes, What are you guys doing? He's like, wait. And remember, Kevin doesn't have a filter. He's like, what are you doing? And then he sees me in the boat, and I'm getting ready to pull in. He goes, Rob, what are you doing? Tractors are $5. He's like, what? It's $5, Rob.
You need to borrow $5?
Yes, he did. He pulls out his wallet, and he goes, Rob, I got $5. Were you just short on cash? And he's doing this while I'm filming, and I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, dude, shut up.
Not helping to stress out.
Not helping. I'm stressed out. And Mike backs up, and so I pull up. So far, so good. Okay, Mike, pull it out nice and easy. Back tire starts spinning. I'm like, oh no. Yeah. I'm like, you gotta, and I'm not yelling.
No.
Because I don't want to. I'm trying to be calm.
Calm, cool, and collected.
I'm like, yeah, you got to put it in 4-wheel drive. And he's saying something back to me, and I can't quite hear him because everybody's laughing and going on, and Kevin's all, Rob, what are you doing? And he's still waving his $5 bill. I got $5. I'm like, dude, Kevin, shut up, Kevin. And then I hear Mike, what he's saying back, because he basically opened the rear, and I don't think I had a rear, stuck his head out the door, and I think he cussed. He's like, I have it in effing 4-wheel drive already. And I'm like, whoa, and I'm like, and I'm sitting there thinking, what could be wrong? Yeah. Why isn't, because when the tires started moving, it would go in 4-wheel drive.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, after a minute of him spinning the tires, now he's spinning the tires, right? And Kevin's all, Kevin says, don't worry, Rob, we got this. Kevin doesn't put his beer down, takes his one-handed, pose that he's got, walks over and jumps on the back of the truck.
On the bumper.
He's on the bumper. And he's jumping up and down. We got it. Okay, Mike, let's go. We go like it's a horse. And he's jumping up and down, trying to get the thing to go. The tires are just spinning. There's no way. The boat is not going to go up. And I'm sitting there, and then all of a sudden it dawns on me. Wait a minute. And I'm like, Mike, did you put it in four-wheel drive low? And he goes, yes. And I go, Mike, it won't shift into four-wheel. All you need to do is put it in four-wheel drive high. And as soon as I said that, he clicks it. It just hooks up, and we pull right out. It was nothing. But Kevin is bouncing on the thing. Oh, yeah, all right, Rob, we did it. Like Kevin thought because he got on the back of the truck.
I was the traction it needed.
Yeah, he was the traction.
Me and my Coors Light.
Yeah, you and your Coors Light. So that was the first time I met Kevin. And the story goes on a little bit more because then what happened? Then what happened is I got a bigger boat, the ZX and the RZX. That boat was at least 1,000 pounds heavier.
Yeah.
And I felt like that four-wheel drive incident, you
had to redo it.
I had to
do a redo.
I had to redo
Yeah.
it. And I was invited back to the same lake, same ramp the next year.
Right. So you planned it this time.
So this time planned it. Now, during this time, I fell in love with Kevin. Kevin became an extremely close friend. Definitely best wake surf friend for sure. Kevin, I spent more time with him and realized this guy just has high energy. He really just, he's always on. It's not drugs. That was the first thing. Second, Kevin will give you the shirt off your back. His back, and not the shirt off your back. Here's your shirt.
It won't fit you though, Rob, but I'd still give it to you.
Yeah, but he will. He's like, if you pull up somewhere and you start unloading the car, before I would get out of my car and make it to the back of my truck, my stuff would already be out. I mean, Kevin's, I got it for you, Rob. I mean, that's just Kevin. And he's always like that. And he's always helping everybody out.
I am married. You don't have to, are you trying to find me a wife here?
No,
or something?
No.
Happily married.
Boy, there were so many things to say there, and I just let them all go. I let them all go.
I saw them almost come out.
You saw my brain start thinking. So yeah. Anyway, it is Pride Month. Anyway, I'm not going to say anymore.
Okay.
So anyway, during this time, I got to know Kevin very well. We became much better friends, and I went to Kevin and told him, remember what happened? And you bounced it on my truck, and I don't think he remembered it all.
That was just another day in my life.
Kevin's like, I remember opening a Coors Light, and then
I'm pretty sure that happened.
I'm pretty sure I remember that. And then about 12 hours later, I don't know, I woke up somewhere.
Yeah.
And anyway, so once I told him what happened. I think I even showed you the video.
Right.
And you were kind of embarrassed. It was pretty funny. Man. And so I said, look, what I need you to do, Kevin, is I need you to drive. I need my sec. I need you to be my second. You got, and we went over and practiced the four-wheel drive. Like, here's how it goes in four-wheel drive. We're not going to make the same mistakes, right? And actually, no, I was going to drive the truck. You were going to drive the boat. Yeah. So he's driving the boat. So this time I was doing the truck. So now we're going to be good. Thomas is still going to be able to film because Thomas didn't have a license.
Right.
Thomas was like 14. Now he's 15. So we go out there and we have our day on the lake. And the first thing, and this is all me, but I am so stressed about this. We go and we're parking to have lunch, and we're in this little tight area, and I'm just out of sync. And I ran into like, what, 4 or 5 kayaks?
It was more than that. There's probably about 20 kayaks that they rent out, and Rob decided to take them all out. Just run them over with the boat.
Yeah, this was pre-thrusters.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I could have done
it. It was a little breezy. I think it was a little breezy.
It was windy. Yeah. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you for giving me that.
I'll give you that, Rob.
Yeah, but
you still can't drive a boat.
I can't drive a boat. I could drive, but you know what? I didn't that day. I'll say that. And I could have sold thrusters.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
On that day, I could have sold them. Anyway, I took out a bunch of kayaks, and Kevin is. At this time, we're friends. Kevin is literally 40 yards away from me, up on the dock, and at this infamous restaurant, standing up there, and he yells down to Thomas, "Thomas, what the hell's going on with your dad?" Like that. Like what's up? And I'm like, oh, Kevin, man, you
I'm
know,
just making sure everyone's
just
attention
making
gets
sure
focused
everybody
on you.
knows that I just took out all the kayaks. So that happens, and then we get to the point where we're gonna pull out the truck, and as we're going, as we're pulling up, and before that, when we got there in the morning, Kevin starts to back out. We're in line. He's like, you know, Robert,
It's only $5.
I'll pay the $5. Are you sure you want to do this? We're gonna look so stupid, and they're telling people you can't do it by yourself. They're supposed to allow you.
Right.
But they want everybody to use the tractors, and Kevin's nervous.
Well, if a truck goes in the water, it closes the ramp for probably the rest of the day.
Yeah,
so
that's a good point.
It's a pretty big deal.
It is a big deal. And Kevin doesn't want to be that
No,
guy.
I don't want to be the guy that's driving the truck
and
that
then
goes in the water.
me crashing into all the kayaks probably didn't give you the...
Well, and I also know the boat is bigger. It's heavier. It's
Yes.
1,000 pounds heavier than the last time.
Yep.
So, you know, there's a few variables.
Yes. So he was concerned. Kevin was concerned.
It's a steep ramp. I mean,
no, it's no joke.
you should get some kind of a link to put on here, just a picture of that
I
ramp.
will.
It
I
is
will
a
put.
straight
I
drop
will put
ramp.
in the comments.
I don't think people understand.
Yes,
It
because
is-
I do have video of this,
Yeah.
and it is a straight down ramp, and I wish I could remember the name. Maybe somebody watching can put in the comments. And so so we finally get to the end of the day, and Kevin again, Rob, are you sure we're gonna do this? I mean, we're good. $5, it's no problem. I'm not. Come on, Kevin, we can do it. He's like, all right. And so my heart's going crazy. I back it up. I make sure I'm in 4-wheel drive. I pull it down. Now the other part too about this ramp is because it's so steep. I don't know if you've been on a really steep ramp. That when you back the boat in just to get it enough into the water, it goes down so dang low. If you have those floating, what do you call those
the
things?
pole protectors.
Yeah, pole
the
protectors.
Guides,
Yeah, the
pole
guides.
on the trailer.
Yes, they will float up and go away. And so you should take them off. I didn't think about it just because I don't usually go on this ramp. So I back down. Kevin is out there driving. And keep in mind, I already told you, the Delta water is stank. And when I say, Kevin, it's stank. I mean, you know, it's nasty.
Oh, yeah.
It's nasty. Now, this is not just Delta water. This is Delta water at the marina. So this is stank, what, 4X? It's nasty.
It's gross.
It's nasty.
Yeah.
So I back up, and my things pop out and they go off.
The pole guides just
The pole
shoot
guides.
up off of the poles,
Yeah, shoot up
into
off
the
the poles.
water.
You know what?
And there's current. This is in the deltas. There's
Yeah.
current. It's always moving.
Yes. And so in my mind, I'm thinking, hey,
Lost
I
them.
just lost some pole guides. That's all what do I care?
Well, you
It's-
forgot your buddy Kevin was here.
Yeah. So as I'm thinking, I'm going to tell Kevin, don't worry about it. The pole guides are gone. I look, he's already in the water and nobody's driving the boat. So Kevin
To grab $10 pole guides.
Yeah, he gets $10 pole guides and puts my boat. Luckily, there were a lot of kayaks to break the pole. But Kevin was fast. He jumps in, and this is Kevin. This is, if you know Kevin, you hear this all the time. I got it, Rob. Insert your name, of course. Be like, I got it. Jumps in, gets the pole guides, got right back to the boat and threw them in. And I'm like, holy crap! I just saved my pole guides. There was my $5.
Yeah,
Kevin paid for himself right there. So he gets those in. He pulls the thing in. He's like, okay. And then I realize, oh my gosh, this boat's got 1,000 pounds of lead in it.
Yeah.
So I have 1,000 pounds of lead. I accidentally left some of the ballast full in the back. Thing is way overrated, and I'm realizing that right then. And I'm seeing Kevin in the back, and we're gonna drive up, and I'm just thinking, I can't abort now. This is it, and I'm scared to death.
In it to win it.
And it's in 4-wheel drive. I put it in, and it starts to slip, just a little bit. All 4 wheels. They're both, but it hooked up. We got up there. We went and looked. Half of the back ballast was full.
Yeah.
And all the lead was in the boat. Plus, that boat was 5,000 pounds and everything else. And it pulled it right
No
out.
problem.
And it did it successfully. And Kevin was like, I knew we could do it, Rob. I knew we could do it. Yeah. I'm glad you believed in me, Rob.
Told you the whole time.
Yeah, I told you. I knew that would work. Anyway, that's how I met Kevin. And I would say after that, we're always trying to figure out, what we're going to do on the lake together. But there was There is kind of one more quick story.
Is this a quick story?
It's a 2-hour podcast.
I gotta sit here for 2
Yeah,
hours.
I didn't tell you that. By the way.
Oh
We're gonna be here
man,
for 2
we
hours.
didn't discuss compensation.
Compensation. I'm gonna pay you back the $5.
You know, I'm a little disappointed. I thought when I got here this morning I'd have like a breakfast, eggs and bacon.
Well, you wanted to
hash
put it in.
browns
That was
and
my plan. I didn't want to
nothing.
do
Not
that.
even a donut. Nothing.
You're right. I should have at least offered you a donut, Kevin. I don't know what we were thinking.
Oh man.
Now Kevin is and this is a compliment. Kevin is very good with his money. He's frugal and always trying to figure out a way that he can.
A lot of people call that cheap. I try to say no, frugal.
Okay, Kevin's cheap,
Okay.
but he makes good because he's always making something. Like he has like this automatic flagpole. It doesn't work in Tennessee, really. I mean, it works, but nobody cares because nobody knows what flag is in
Safety
Tennessee.
flag, automatic orange
flag.
safety flag, yeah. But yeah, Tennessee doesn't have the
Yep.
law that's required.
Yep. So anyway, he does a lot of stuff like that, and so his first SL was that a 2019 or was it an 18?
The 16. This was the SL was the 19, yeah.
Yeah, it was a 19.
We had a SG prior to that, the
Yes,
16.
and we had the 18, and it was an amazing boat. But the 19, they made a little change in the swim deck, and it caused that the swim deck would kind of drag just a little bit, and it would cause this spray come
Into
off
the wave, yes.
into the wave. And Kevin, I had helped him to contact Supra, and we were working that out. But Kevin had to say, where did you get the other swim deck from?
From your boat.
Was it from my boat?
Yes, you had your 18, and you were at the houseboat. And
Yeah. So he goes, Rob, that's what it was.
in the water.
Yeah,
The
well,
boat's
that's where I'm
in-
going.
Yeah.
So Kevin says, hey, Rob, this is a better story than I remember because I forgot it was I thought you. So Kevin, that's right. He wanted to test that it would work so he could go back to Supra and say, see, look. And so Kevin says, Rob, you have the 18. He goes, let's just take your SL deck and let's put it on here. I'm like,
That's
okay.
not gonna work.
I don't think so. And then I'm out there on the lake with him. I'm at his houseboat, and he goes, let's do it now. And I'm like, Kevin, I'm not gonna go. We gotta go. I don't even have my truck here. How are we gonna pull things out? And he goes, no, right here.
In the water.
I'm like, what? I'm like, what? And he goes, we're gonna do it right here in the water. And here's the thing. I'm sitting here and I'm looking at him, and I'm like, Kevin, what are you talking about?
These things are heavy.
Yeah, and but you said something. I
they
can't
float,
remember
Rob.
what you said back. But Kevin wasn't putting together that my concern
Yes.
was that we were in open water that's what, 50 foot deep? I said,
Oh, it was, yeah.
oh no, I know what I
100
said.
feet
I said, Kevin, how deep is it here?
Yeah.
And he goes, 50? Why? Like, that didn't even make sense to him while I was asking. I go, Kevin, we're going to take the swim deck. I go, do you change your prop in the open water? And he goes, no, that'll sink.
Yeah, come on, duh.
Yeah, I was like, duh. And he's acting like, I go, Kevin, you can't take your swim deck off in open water. He goes, yeah, I can. I've done it before. I'm like, what? And he goes, yeah, I did it. It floats. How do you know? Well, I did it. I said, oh, did you do that test on the ramp where you were only in 3 feet of water so that if it didn't float, then you wouldn't die, because I know you'd hold on and just go down with it, because that would cost you a few $100, so you wouldn't let that happen.
That's cheap.
That's cheap.
That's the definition.
Yes. Or would you, anyway, I knew that he must have tested. He goes, no, I did it right here. I said, Kevin, how did you know for sure that it was going to float? I just figured it would float. So he tells me this story, and Kevin, you have to understand, whenever Kevin goes in the water, are you a good swimmer?
I mean, I have asthma, so I can swim, but for not very long.
Yeah, Kevin always puts on a life jacket, but he puts it on upside
like
down.
a diaper.
He puts it on like a diaper, and that's fine.
It's a bobber. I'm just a bobber with my Coors Light.
You have to understand that. You get the picture of this guy by himself wearing a diaper and a Coors Light, one-handed, doing and taking apart the bolts to a swim deck, and then going, it floats.
Yeah.
In 50 feet of water.
Yeah.
Where his houseboat is. And now he's asking me to back my boat up.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at him and I go, you're nuts. But here's my weakness. This would be great to film. And I did.
Yeah. You have that film too?
I do have that somewhere.
One of these days we're gonna have to just
Yeah,
reminisce.
we gotta get.
Look at a lot of these old.
Yes,
old
a lot of these
reels.
old. So I said, okay, here's what we're gonna do, Kevin. I'm gonna pull my boat and I'm gonna back up, but you're taking your swim deck off first. Swim deck off
Be
first.
careful, Rob.
Yeah, be careful.
There's no edit button.
And you're gonna take it off. And you're gonna prove to me that thing floats. You're gonna take your hands off it. We're gonna make sure there's nothing in. There's no cables, and it's all good. And then I will let you take the one off. And he's like,
Well,
yeah.
I'll be honest with you too. At that point, I had taken your style swim deck. I knew that one floated for sure, but mine I did not know yet because it's open in the bottom. The old style is just it's fiberglass.
So were you sweating it at all?
No, I
Because you did. I don't remember you telling me that.
I assumed that they both floated since
yes,
the one did. My assumption
you
is
assumed in 50 feet of water. You assumed.
So anyway,
This is Kevin.
Yeah, we took them both off. We got the lily pad mat out just to be safe.
Yeah, because that'll
Yeah,
I'm sure that'll save everything.
Well, just so I didn't lose screws and bolts and
yeah.
stuff. And
So he had the lily pad out and he took his deck off.
Yeah,
and he
but I
proved to
showed
me
him it floated. I'm like, look, it floated.
And I'm like, man, okay, Kevin. And so we swapped decks right there. Went out, tested.
Be careful, Rob.
We swapped the swim platforms right
Better,
there.
That's better.
We went out.
This is my mind.
I can hear people laughing behind me. We went out on the water and it fixed it.
Yeah.
It definitely
no
fixed
spray.
it.
Yeah,
It fixed
no
it.
spray.
Sent the video to Supra and, anyway, they worked it all out. And then we came back and we swapped the swim platforms. We
Re-swapped. Swapped
Yeah,
back?
we re-swapped swim platforms and came back. And
Yeah.
that's it.
Test successful.
Test successful.
Yep. Didn't we put the old one on, or the new style one on the 18 too, or did we not go that far? I can't remember. That was so long ago.
We may have.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Because we were trying to get as much
Like-
video
yeah, I think
before
what-
and after.
I think it was because we wanted to also say, look, when you put this on my boat,
Yeah.
it causes the problem.
Yeah.
And we didn't do that. And Supra was very helpful. We
Yeah,
got that.
absolutely.
We got
Yeah,
that all
resolved.
worked
Yeah.
out. And you know what was interesting about that story too? One of the things that happened, and I don't like doing this, but sometimes this makes a good story. This is one of the experiences that I had with Supra. And there have been many where I realized that these guys are serious engineers. Because my first thought was, okay, somebody made a change, they didn't test it,
Right.
and because that was my experience before. The changes are made, nobody tests them, and then this kind of thing happens.
Right.
When I contacted the engineer at Supra and we talked about it, he had all kinds of information about what they tested, how they did it, and whatever. And then we went out to Tennessee, which we didn't go just for the, well, no, we kind of did. I mean, did you come with us that time?
I don't remember.
I don't maybe remember if you did. But anyway, we went out to Tennessee, and they met us out there, had another deck to switch back and forth, and tested with us. And I think a lot of it just had to do with the fact that we weighted the boat differently than they normally do in their testing. But they thoroughly tested, and he wanted to see it, wanted to understand exactly what was going on, because this didn't come up in this testing,
Right.
and that very much bothered him. Like, we need
Right.
to get to the bottom of this. And I was blown away by that. And since then, since we've done it, like one of the things that we do when we weight our boats is that we have learned, and I'm going to do a video about this in a few weeks, is that getting the bow up a bit and speeding up is the key to that massive pushy wake. It wastes some gas, but that is the money wave, because when you get the bow up a little bit, you get more push, but it shortens the wave. But when you speed up a little bit, it puts the wave back to being long, but it doesn't offset the amount of push, maybe just a little bit. So you end up with this beautiful, big, long, pushy wave, and the Supra reacts to that so well. And so when we started doing that, Supra had to kind of alter the way they test some of their stuff a bit, because we did that, Supra and Moomba. So anyway, that was a fantastic story. So Kevin, I think we've killed everybody knows.
Yeah.
One, they know a lot about you. They know a lot about me too, but I've been doing this for a long time.
Right.
So now we got you up to speed with Kevin. But let's talk a little bit about your experience. How obviously you had 8 Malibus, you said?
I think about 8.
About
or
8.
or
So
9
like 3 used ones and then 5.
Vice versa.
Okay,
so 5
so
used
5
ones.
used ones
Yeah.
and 3 new ones.
Yeah.
So tell us kind of why you went with Malibu, what you love about Malibu, and then what happened, how you kind of switched.
Well, I just kind of fell in love with Malibu over the years. I always liked the way they looked.
Yeah, they're good-looking
and
boats.
this is all pre-surfing. This is back in
Yeah.
in the early 2000s and stuff. So when I started, getting into boats. And so I bought a used Malibu on Craigslist, and then I wound up selling it, and I made some money. And then I bought a couple-year newer one, then a couple-year newer one, until I finally got to where I was able to buy a brand new one.
Oh yeah, we haven't even talked
Yeah.
about that. Kevin is a talented flipper. He can flip. He can go cut down a tree and make money. I'm telling you, and he'll sell it back to the
Well,
guy
you know,
that
people
lived
do
there.
buy lumber.
Yeah, I know, but what I meant is you would like cut down one of my trees and
Right,
sell it
right,
back to me.
right,
Hey, I found this in your yard.
Right.
Kevin is a great salesman,
Yes.
and is always seeing deals, buying and reselling, and has made a good income doing that. All right, go ahead.
So, well, anyway, yeah. So, we wound up buying our first new Malibu when the Surfgate came out. I think it was 2013, and just loved it. It was the first, surf device on a factory boat, and we had just started surfing, a couple years prior to that, listing and that sort of thing, and we just loved the Malibu, like the fit and finish and everything. But right after we bought that 2013, we started having some quality issues, things like that, and then we wound up buying another one. I think it was a 15, and then a 16. And the quality we just kept seeing the quality going down and down. Now we love the way the boat looked, but the biggest complaint I had is the 16, the last one we had, I upgraded the engine. Back then it was the Chevy LS3 Corvette engine.
Yep.
Was the biggest one you can get. So I bought that one, and when you fully weighted the Malibu, put the wedge down. It has the hydrofoil wedge underneath that sucks the back of the boat down. That's their, their
Bread and
ballast. Yeah, it's kind of their patented thing. But
Well, now
what
it's
happens is
Surfgate,
you're running at 4,500 RPM, 4,800 RPM. I mean, you're full bore. The thing's sucking down, 15 gallons an hour. And
Easy.
And when the surf gates are out, you had to hold that steering wheel for dear life, because if for me it wasn't an issue, but for my wife, you hold that. If you let go just for a second, the boat yanks really hard one direction, because you got 2 rudders in the water. One's out whichever side you're surfing on. So if you let go of the steering wheel, it yanks you. So the drivability was really, really hard. I mean, like I said, I love the way it looked. But there was a lot of fit and finish quality issues that we started having and noticing, and over the ones I'd had. All the older ones I had I loved, but the newer ones, it seemed like the quality wasn't as good as the older ones. So we had an opportunity to ride in a Supra at one of the events one time, and I was just blown away. Like we had always wanted a Nautique. That was kind of the best boat. In our minds, the best boat was a Nautique. Most expensive boat, it's the best. And we rode in the Supra, and all I could think of when I was sitting in the Supra was looking at the vinyl and the stitching and everything. I'm like, this is kind of like Nautique level. That's what I thought, coming from the Malibu. I'm like, this is different, next level. And then we rode the boat, and it drove like a sports car. I'm like, this is crazy. It just gets right up on the plane. In the Malibu, we couldn't even get up on the plane. If you were loaded with the full crew with the LS3 motor, I couldn't even get up on the plane. I mean, it was kind of embarrassing, to be honest. So just that big difference right there on the Supra, I was sold. So the first one we bought was a 2016. I think the one we were in was a 15. It was right when they were coming out with their new style boats. And then the 16 SG is when the first brand new one we bought as a Supra. And we loved it. And then they came out with the SL, and then of course we're like, oh man, like they changed everything, and it was just beautiful boat. So we wound up buying the 2019 SL with the new dash and the new screens, and loved it. And now we have a 21 SL. And yeah, I mean,
And we just went out last weekend on your SL, and the wave was out amazing.
Yeah, Amy loves it. Yeah,
she
so
does. Amy
so that's
loves
a
the SL.
contention with Rob
Yeah.
and his wife Amy is she loves the SL wave, and Rob likes the SE wave, and I honestly love the SE wave too. It's just a little bigger. You need more weight, but it's a bigger boat, better for a bigger cruise. You can put more weight in it, bigger wave, but it's a bigger boat. So you know, some people size constraints in their garage or boat shed or wherever they need.
So let's talk about SL and SE in a minute, because I want to talk about that more. But about the Malibu, I mean, during that time, I remember, because I love the Malibu as well. The LSV, the 23 LSV,
that was my favorite boat.
An incredible boat.
Loved it, yeah.
Yes, and I remember being around that in like 2007, 8, 9. It just, they were bulletproof.
Right.
They made a solid wave on both sides.
Right.
It was a great boat. And after that, though, I don't know if that's when Malibu went public and their whole corporate thing, but it was like steadily every year, we kept hearing from the community more and more issues. Boats getting to dealers that weren't finished. A lot of quality problems.
Well, they left so when they cut out the holes for the heater tubes, they left the fiberglass in there for you in case you ever wanted to replug it.
Yeah, because if you wanted to.
And then they always would leave about probably $50 to $100 worth of stainless steel screws and hardware in the hole for you. So you always had extra parts.
Because, you know, those are fun to pull out of your feet.
Extra parts, yeah. Oh, and the other thing that really drove me nuts with the Malibu, and this is actually another, when Supra, it's swim deck issue. So when Supra switched to the new swim deck, I wasn't sold because when we had the spray issue, and I loved the original swim deck that was finished gel coat underneath. The original 18 and older swim deck on the Supras. Malibu swim decks, if you swam up to it and you grabbed it from the bottom, you would get like 12 pinpricks of fiberglass in your hands, and you know, your kids or whatever swimming up, just grabbing the swim deck. It just bothered me. They didn't take a grinder or anything underneath.
Smooth it at all.
So, but Supra didn't do that. When they made their open swim decks on the new ones, they're definitely, there's no pokey things underneath.
I kind of like that because I grab it, and maybe because I weigh a lot more too, I grab it and it gives me something to hold on to. I do like that.
Well, and the new Supras also have the handles.
Oh yeah,
on the
those
top.
are beautiful. I love those
hand grip things. But yeah, that drove me nuts on the Malibu too. I'm thinking, you're paying all this money for a boat and they can't just have I just thought that they didn't have somebody at the end of the line just finishing stuff up, giving a good cleaning. And they always said it was the dealer's responsibility to do it. My interactions with Malibu directly on, you know, trying to resolve some issues. But the dealer was horrible as well. That was the other thing between Malibu and Supra. There's a lot of Malibu dealers because Malibu sells a lot of boats, so they have a huge dealer network. But a lot of their dealers just aren't very good. They don't care. They sell so many boats, they just don't care. Supra, I never got that feeling. The dealers, they're a little farther apart and fewer between, so sometimes that's a factor when you're buying a new boat. It's like, well, the dealer's an hour away, hour and a half away. But the difference in service is night and day. I mean, the dealers care, they're responsive, they take care of you. And I didn't get that with the Malibu, so that's another huge factor.
I also know this too. One, I didn't talk to Kevin about this ahead of time. I know how he feels, but Kevin doesn't care that I love Supra. Yeah, about anything. Doesn't care that maybe Supra would be watching. If Kevin thought that he had the opportunity, he'd be like, "Yeah, my Supra sucks too." I mean, he would just tell you. You know, so Kevin gives a very honest review, no matter what. And let me ask you a question: when you turn the surf system off and on the Supra, does it kick you?
Not at all.
Well, you can almost let go.
You feel the initial when this surf, because you know it tilts the boat a little bit and shifts. But once everything's engaged and it's going, you can let go of the steering wheel. That was another thing I felt to mention.
Which is really kind of crazy.
It's amazing. And I always thought they had some kind of hydraulic steering or something that was able to lock it in place, but it's not.
There's a gremlin down there with a rudder or something.
It's amazing. So that was for my wife. I mean, that's key. Now, I mean, you're always holding the steering wheel, but you don't have to hold it like tight grip. You could basically hold it with a finger, and you could turn it while you're surfing with your finger. You could turn the steering wheel. It's amazing.
Yeah, and they engineered it that way because I remember asking about that, and they were like, hey, you know what? We've really worked hard on this thing, you know, so you know, test it. I'm like, Okay. And then I didn't think about it. And then I went out there and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can let go of the steering wheel. It's pretty crazy.
Now, I'm not going to throw the dealer under the bus, but because I don't know if this is a factory approved test riding etiquette, but before we bought our 16SG, we went on a demo with the dealer in California, and we were out on the lake, and I think it was an SA that we were doing the demo in, but similar hole and everything, and he was no ballast or weight, full speed, 30-something miles an hour, yanks the wheel and just in the water, just cranks it 360.
Was that Kyle?
I said I didn't want to throw anybody under the bus. Yes, Kyle Fulford, and he's probably watching this right now.
Yeah, from CMS.
Oh man, I said we're buying this boat.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, man, you didn't just bend the skegs, you didn't just rip the rudder off, like that actually just happened.
Oh, glad the boat is fine, but my wife is back there, so can we go pick up Leah?
He did warn us and said hold on, but I'm like, oh, this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. So that sold me too. I mean, like I said, it drives like a sports car. It's ridiculous, like on rails. Now, obviously, when you're full ballast, you probably wouldn't be able to do that.
But it does. It does.
But yeah, it was crazy. So yeah, that was our first demo experience. And
you mentioned on plane.
Thanks, Kyle.
I did videos before too. Like they also do this thing, and they've done this since 2016 or 17, where the surf system, as long as you are using a profile, so the boat knows you want to surf.
Yeah.
Or wakeboard. That's the one key thing. But if I'm there and then I have the speedometer off, so I want to get going, I can hammer it, and what it'll do is it will put both plates down. To get the back end out of the water to get you up on plane, and it works amazing. You can go on plane. Kevin has a 400. Yeah, I have a 550. He has a 400. We're out there with 1,000 pounds of lead.
I can't afford a 550 like this guy.
A 400, and you could get up on plane, and I've done that multiple times of demo events and stuff. It's pretty sick.
Yeah,
you definitely can't go wrong with that. But this is a topic we didn't mention, but you brought it up. We should talk about this because we have a lot of Supra people and now the new boat is the SE, and many of them are in the SL. And we haven't been in the new 2023 I got on it. I think you went on it, but we haven't spent much time on it. So I don't want to. I know it's going to be amazing.
Of course,
they've always been, but just generally SL versus SE. Kevin mentioned the wave. It is a little bit different, and he mentioned what you would like better. And I would say there are two things, and you can give your what you think too. Is that what Amy doesn't like about it is kind of interesting. What Amy doesn't like about it is just that it almost, what she doesn't like about the SE, and she loves it, it just doesn't like it as much as the SL, I should say, is that it has too much push.
Yes.
And what happens is you're in that boat, and sometimes you get tired because you're always trying to hold back.
Brakes.
Yeah, brakes, because it's throwing you
shoving
into the boat.
back into the back of the boat.
It's throwing you into the boat.
It's got that much push.
And it just has extra push. And so some of you go, oh, dude, that's great. And it is a great thing. But I will say this. I don't know if I would actually say that I like the SE wave better. I like the SE boat better because you take that amazing wave and you add all that room.
Yes.
Oh, that's what's amazing to me. But because the SL, it has a ton of push, but there's something about the push in the SL that it's smooth from the back to the front.
Right.
Like you just have this smooth amount of push all the way up and back, and it's just it's wonderful. And especially now with the SE, it is hard. It does push you harder, and probably for more of a performance surfer would like the SE more. The other thing is the SE, I think the wave is a little firmer.
Yeah.
It's a little bit harder.
I agree with that.
And so these are two differences in those waves. They're both world class in my opinion, but I think I like the SE a tad better, but I think the push on the SL, it is just that it's so smooth. And when you try different boats and go from boat to boat to boat, you will really see there are some boats like you get in them and they have little pockets along the wave where you get like a bunch of push here and then it dies.
Yeah.
And then you go a little forward and you get a bunch of push. And it's like you'll have these pockets where it's like man, I'm getting shoved here, and then I die here.
Yeah.
And it's hard to find a spot.
Not the case with the SL.
Where the SL is smooth and consistent, front to back. The SE is consistent, but it's always throwing you forward.
Sounds like a tagline for their next ad.
It should be.
Smooth.
It's
front
smooth.
To back.
It's smooth
Firmer,
front to back.
harder. What were the words you were using? Those are the qualities my wife really loves about
Okay,
the wave.
Kevin.
The wave.
Kevin, don't get me in trouble,
the
Kevin.
wave.
It's true.
That's
the
what I
wave.
said.
We're talking about the wave.
Jeez, Rob. His mind just goes crazy.
So
Yeah. We also like I mean, just from an aesthetic perspective, I like the way the SL looks. I think the XL is just a little sexier than the SE. I mean, now you're just splitting hairs.
No, I agree.
But I think that the gel lines and everything, just a little bit cleaner.
This SL we had in 22, that's like probably the sexiest boat I think I've had. And the new SE, I've seen it.
Yeah.
Looks great.
Yeah.
But for looks,
yeah.
the SL.
Well, coming from Malibu's too, we always really like the traditional bows, the traditional pointed bow. And when all the boat manufacturers started coming out with their pickle fork bows, even the MXZs in the Malibu range and all that, we just weren't fans. It was just, they were just ugly and obtrusive looking. And I just felt like they would scoop water more if you hit a wave, which is another thing about the Supra that we could mention too, is it's really hard to take over water over the bow on a Supra. I mean, if you just power into a wave, it just goes right up over the wave. Now, I mean, obviously, in
you did this weekend, though.
In certain conditions, I mean, I can do it on purpose if I want to get the person in the bow wet. But
if you had thrusters, you wouldn't get it.
Right. So anyway, they started.
That is true, though.
Yeah.
The thrusters do help you. Like, you can quickly
back out.
Abort. You can get the bow in the right spot, and it does help with that a little bit. But
yeah. So anyway. I was saying that. So when all the manufacturers started transitioning from traditional bows to a more pickle fork styling, the SL is more of a kind of a compromise. It's not a pickle fork, but it's not traditional. It's a halfway in between, which is it's nice. That gray area where we love it. I mean, now I think the new pickle fork bows are a lot better than the original ones. They used to have the two big points.
When they actually had pickles?
Yeah. right. It literally looked like a shovel that would scoop it on. Not super generally.
They even made bumps on them to look like the little dill spots.
But anyway, so that's another thing we like about the SL versus the SA or the SE is it's a little more traditional bow.
Yeah, it's my favorite look.
I just like the look of it. It just looks like that traditional, look boat. But I mean, I wouldn't be mad at an SE if it showed up in my driveway.
Oh yeah, definitely. And the other thing is, if you're we'll say budget conscious. You can put a 400 in the SL and still, and Kevin has a 400 SL,
right.
But you really can't do that with an SE.
Cheap.
So, yeah.
Well, they don't have the SE minimums.
That really makes it so you can't do it.
Yeah.
But even the 450.
That budget conscious is I'm budget conscious, but that's a huge point as well. The Supra. If you compare all boat lines, Mastercraft, I'll say it right. I have nicknames for every manufacturer, but Mastercraft, Malibu. No. Anyway, if you look at all across the line and your value for the options and the quality of boat you get, it's hard to beat a Supra for the price. I mean, you compare it to price. I have a friend that just bought. They were gonna. Looking between the Malibu, the big Malibu, I can't remember what it's called because they've changed the name so many times, and then the 550 SE, and he said it was $30,000 more for the Malibu with less options. And that's a Malibu. I mean, they were the cost-effective high-end boat for years, and the Supra had the power tower standard, the stereo standard, like everything that you would pay extra for on any other manufacturer is just standard. I mean, the options that you have to pick are, motor upgrade, extra set of extra set of racks, and then if you can't drive, you have to buy the thrusters. Those are your options when you're building a Supra. Everything else is already included. It's crazy, and the price point. I mean, obviously the boats are super expensive now, but if you compare all the brands, the price point for what you get, you still can't beat the Supra.
Yeah, definitely. And that is, but they're all so expensive now.
Oh, gosh.
I
mean, what do you want to buy, a house or a boat?
Yeah, it's rough. And that's one of the reasons why we try to we've been doing a lot more, hey, talking to Skier's Choice, do you have any Moombas that we can go and because I want people to see you can have just as much like that Moomba Max.
Oh, I loved it.
love that Moomba
The
Max.
Moombas, yeah.
That would be probably the boat that if I wanted to really save money and just get a boat, like you would be the Moomba Max. I love that.
Yeah.
It's all wave and plenty of fun. Although we do live right here on the lake, and we're not on, like I don't have a dock. I mean, we're just a few minutes away.
Well, you know somebody with a dock.
I do, and we're going to talk about that. So what that means is that I don't go and camp in my boat.
Right.
So, comfort is important, but the Max, go out there and surf for a few hours and come back in. Oh my gosh, fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, the wave is awesome. The boat is awesome. It just doesn't have a lot of the bells and whistles that aren't really necessary, but they're nice. They're nice to have.
Not for the
not
fun part.
necessary for the fun,
Yeah.
You have just as much
And
fun.
we say that, and we have those bells and whistles, and we love them.
Right.
And I'm telling you that thrusters are necessary.
Once you get to the point where I've
been working 30 some years. Kevin's been working like 9 months.
But yeah, it's hard. You can't go back once you start getting accustomed to the certain bells and whistles. It's hard to go back. That's why I still haven't paid for the thrusters, because I know once I do, then
we've gone all over the place. It's gonna be hard to separate these into episodes, but I mean, I usually do sub episodes. But anyway, this has been fun, and so I think we've put that to death. But that was fun because last time Mike is a Nautique owner, and we talked about Nautique and Supra, and now we talked about Malibu.
Yeah. I love Nautique. I can't.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just super expensive, and but like I said, if you had to compare, I think Supra is more equivalent to a Nautique than it is to a Malibu, and I think a lot of people just assume it's the Malibu equivalent, and I don't think that's accurate. I mean, you sit inside of it, and you
Plus,
ride in one.
For me, Auto Wake just separates.
Absolutely, yeah.
That technology.
Yeah.
Yep. So, all right. So the other thing, the last topic, there's one more, and that is California to Tennessee. And it's great to have Kevin here because Kevin...
Are we talking politics? Or?
Yeah, no. Yeah, we were talking about gas, and I was thinking of my daughter. I'm not going to say his name, but our current president, she says the word booty hole and then his name every time she puts gas in her car. She's like, that booty hole, she says his name. So anyway... She's laughing behind me, but California to Tennessee is, dude.
It's a long way.
It's a hard move.
It's a long way.
It's a hard move. And Kevin did California, Tennessee, Arkansas, Tennessee.
I did
because there was a little bit of hemming and hawing there,
right.
And we'll talk about that a little bit. But I would say for the most part, for us, taxes. It's just taxes. Our cost of living, if you could say our cost of living was 100%, we took our spreadsheet, everything, and then we figured what it would be when we moved to Tennessee, and we came up that it'll be 33% of that.
In every aspect.
Everything.
Taxes,
Gas, taxes, DMV registrations.
I have a 2500 diesel, and in California it's $850 a year to
My
register.
F-150 was $7 something.
It was $850 a year. It's probably more now because this is 3 years ago. Probably $1,000. $35 a year.
$35 for my truck too.
No personal property tax on your boat. You have a nice $200,000 boat. Well, California says, hey, nice of you to work hard and buy nice stuff, but now we want to tax that every year. Even though you own it, we still want $2,000 a year because you own that nice thing. Yeah. Our houseboat we had in California, property tax every year. Yeah. Everything. No personal income tax in Tennessee. If you work, you're only paying federal, no state. No capital gains tax in Tennessee. If you buy something and then sell it and you make some money, you don't have to pay capital gains tax. And just general
things are cheaper.
Yeah.
So many
everything.
Things. But here's the one that I didn't count for.
Yeah. When
we got here, we recalculated, and it's actually 25%. That's how. So we went from 100% to 25%, and the big kicker was utilities.
Oh man.
Electricity is dirt cheap.
PG&E was, I think we're at 45 or 48 cents a kilowatt hour in California, PG&E.
Not to mention they do the how much you got rule.
Oh yeah, and then it varies depending, after you get to the third tier after 2 days of the month of the billing cycle, and then you're at max.
And water, same thing. Yeah. If you use too much water.
8 to 10 cents a kilowatt hour. I think that's what our bill is. Literally,
it's crazy.
A fourth of what California was.
And before you think Yeah, that's because you just sit there burning coal. Tennessee has a pretty amazing clean power.
Yeah.
There's actually some nuclear plants.
Yeah.
And I think it's like 40%,
Yeah.
35 to 40% of Tennessee's power is clean.
Yeah.
And increasing. So yeah, no. There were times I spent $1,200 in a month with air conditioning and my servers and everything in California. And here, the top I've ever paid is $300 a month for electricity.
Yeah, yeah.
It's absolutely insane.
I think ours is about $120 to $150 a month, and we have a hot tub that's on all the time, 220, just running. We have 3 air conditioning units.
And
I think in the summer, it'll start getting up to probably 250, almost 300 at the max. But in California, we're paying $800-900 a month for electricity. Yeah. And we're being conservative about it. That's just, it was horrible.
And then I don't want to go too far into this. And I'm telling you because I know it's going to go crazy. No, not the tax part. Is politics. Oh. That also brought us here. Yeah. Because it's gotten crazy, and we'll kind of leave it. Tennessee is a free state.
I could just say something nice. Everybody here is so nice, so nice. Like
Dallas nice, because that's fake nice.
Bless your heart. Oh, if you hear somebody say bless your heart, well,
they're calling you an idiot.
That's their super nice way of saying you're an idiot.
You're an idiot.
You're right. But I mean, just a super simple example is you go through a drive-through, just a fast food restaurant or whatever, and they're
thank you, sweetheart.
Thank you so much. How may I help? It's super overly friendly, and I'm just coming from a state where everyone's so apathetic. Nobody cared. It was like they're disgruntled for even working there. And these are employees here making, minimum wage. Teenagers working at fast food restaurants. I know, crazy, right? It's not a career. It's how young people learn how to work in the world. And they're happy to make $7 an hour, being with a smile on their face. In California, they're making $15-20 an hour in the same exact job, and they have attitude. They don't care.
Yeah, when we drive and travel out of state. Oh, when we get back to Tennessee, you're like, oh, you missed it. Yeah, it was so. People are so genuinely nice.
And I mean, there are the exceptions to the rule.
No, but
traffic, people let you in.
Yes,
just let you in. There's no question.
And they'll wave to you. Yeah. It's just people are nice, and it makes you nice too because you want to.
Yeah. You can't be the guy. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and I told Kevin when he moved here because I had to adjust, and I told my dad. My dad moved here too. Is that I said, Dad. And Kevin, because Kevin's always in a hurry, I would say to him, I told them both, when you go to when you go to like a Tractor Supply, a Walmart, when you get in line, just chill. Don't get frustrated. Yeah. Just go with it. You'll see what I mean. And what happens, like I had this time, I went to Tractor Supply, and I go in there.
Is this to buy new logs for your cabin?
Yeah, I was getting new thrusters. Buy new logs for my cabin. So I'm in there and I'm buying some stuff and the line starts building behind me and the guy looks and I was just moved here and he sees I had a California driver's license. Yeah. And he's like, oh, you're from California? And I thought, oh, great. He's like, am I going to get in trouble here?
Big Mexican from California.
Yeah, big Mexican from California. And no, he was just real nice. He says, oh, that's great. You had a brother who lived out there. Oh, really? And then he starts kind of telling me a story. And so I was telling him about kind of how we moved out here a little bit. And I'm noticing, I look back and there's more people getting in line. I'm starting to get tense. Yeah. Now, I'm getting tense because I'm thinking the people behind me are going to get mad. This is going to be a problem.
Because they're talking, having a conversation in line.
We're talking, and he keeps going. And I'm starting to feel more tense, like, come on, man, we got to get this going. And so after at least, it's like 2 minutes, and I go to look back, and I'm kind of wanted to smile like I'm sorry.
You were at the register, right?
Yeah, I'm at the register.
So you think in California, you're at the register, and then the cashier starts talking or something, or the person in front of you, and you get frustrated.
Yeah, people are honking back there. Come on. Don't even have their
car. That's what he's concerned about.
Yes,
everyone behind is going to be mad. Yeah.
Yes, because people are going to get mad.
Good context.
Yes, good context. So I go after 2 minutes, and more people are there, and I turn and look, and this was the funniest thing. The whole line was like,
they were listening to the conversation.
They were listening to the conversation.
And they were totally cool.
And they were just, good, and I realized
that's how it is.
This
here.
is Tennessee.
That's how it is.
It's just the way it is. You can
nobody's in a hurry, which is that's a negative.
In some ways.
Sometimes when you need to be in a hurry, or you're trying to get something done, you're trying to get a contractor or something. Nobody's in a hurry out there. Nobody's in a. You have to expect it's going to take a little time, which is fine.
You've been here for a while.
Yeah. You don't think twice about it.
You got to adjust to it, but it lowers your blood pressure.
Yes.
Blood pressure.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah.
And but people are still. It doesn't. We're not implying that they're lazy.
No.
There's some lazy people here. Not,
absolutely.
because they're not. People here work hard.
Yeah.
But they just. And you know, part of it too. If you could see where I am right now, how beautiful right here in the forest, in the woods, maybe not quite forest, and how beautiful and green it is right now. It just makes you take a deep breath.
Yeah.
And it's so nice. I have my gun safe is when I walk into the house, it's right there. And nobody cares here. And if anything, they're like, oh, that's a nice gun safe.
Yeah.
And nobody, and people would wonder why I wouldn't have a gun.
Yeah.
You know, and you live on a piece of land.
Yeah, open carry is legal. You don't need a CCW.
No.
I mean, it's just a very welcoming state, and everybody's happy.
It's a free state.
Nobody cares. It's your business.
Right.
It's your business.
Right. Because it's one thing when you're in a very political state.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing that people have opinions that are different than yours. That's not the problem.
Yeah.
The problem is when you're with a bunch of people that have differing opinions and want to shove them down your throat and don't want to allow you to be free. Well, this part though, I'm not saying what those opinions are.
Right.
I'm just saying
we all know.
You can live here in Tennessee and you can have your opinions, your values, your views, and you can be with people that don't feel the same, and they're fine.
And have a normal conversation.
Yes. And I'm a big Mexican, as he said. Jesse's black, and I've had more examples of racism, seen it, and been pulled over being brown. Here, I get let go for being brown.
In California.
Yeah.
He was saying that in California is more examples of that. Yeah.
More examples of that in
Not
California.
here, but he expected it when he
I did expect it here.
Yeah.
It took me 3 years to move here because I was afraid of that.
Yes.
Especially with my daughter. And no, she's in 4-H in the rural county.
No,
and
they love her. Everybody loves,
they love her. It's great.
We don't care. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
Because it's not even a factor.
No. And if anything, I get let go, I think, because I think maybe white Tennessee cop is thinking, I'm going to let this guy go because, you know,
he'll probably sue us.
Yeah, just, you know, so I probably.
California.
Yeah.
You have a Tennessee license now, though, right?
Yes, I do. Yes,
well,
I do.
we changed.
Yeah, but I'm still a big Mexican.
We changed. Yeah, you can't change that.
Yeah. I'm still a big Mexican.
We changed our plates like literally the first week.
Did it right away.
Yeah.
And I have to add one more thing. If you've been to you go to the DMV, right?
Yeah, well, it's the clerk's office.
Yes, but the DMV is it's a pleasant experience.
It was 5 minutes in and out. 5 minutes in and out on a weekday in the middle of the day.
Yes.
I thought they were closed.
Yes.
I thought they were closed.
Yes. Even the busy ones are efficient.
They're super nice.
Yes. I went into there was one DMV, and I swear to you, it was like going into a bank.
Yeah.
You walked in, you took your number, and then somebody opened up, and you went and sat at a desk with them in an open area, like a old banks used to be.
Yep.
And you sat there.
They gave you the free toaster.
Yeah, exactly. You want to open an account with us?
Right. No, it's crazy.
Really is like
it's mind blowing. I mean, in the first couple of times you experience, you think it's one off, but as you live here, you realize, no, that's just the way it is.
And I was at the DMV, and I remember the DMV person said, "Oh, are you also going to do this?" I go, "Oh, yeah. Well, I figured I didn't want to take too much time. I'll have to come back." She goes, "Let's just take care of that now for you." I'm like, "What? You're helping me? Yeah. You're going to actually go out of your way to make extra effort to like I'm a customer?"
Right. And they have a conversation with you just about regular stuff.
Yes.
They don't. It's not just. Okay, what do you need? What do you want? It's oh, hey, how you doing today?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's fantastic.
Oh, you just moved here? Oh,
it is.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That probably gives you an idea. I don't need to tell you how we feel about the California DMV.
Right.
Yeah, it's horrible. And you know,
I guess
that's been our experience.
A lot of viewers probably aren't necessarily from California. Just because we happen to be from. So
but
that's
still
a reference. It's a very extreme differences.
Yep.
Very extreme. One side versus the other.
Yeah. But let's talk about the one thing that people could consider negative. And it probably...
Of Tennessee?
Yeah, and that's the weather. The weather is different. California, it's always sunny.
Yeah.
So that's great.
Hot, dry, sunny.
That's it. Like there are times, even in Northern California where we were at Lake Oroville, it would get so hot you couldn't touch the vinyl.
110 degree days.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, the weather, that means your vinyl's 130 degrees. Yeah.
Here, it's usually about 80.
Yeah, right now. I think it's 80 today, 78, 80.
It's definitely more humid. But in East Tennessee, along the Appalachian Mountains, it's less humid.
Yes.
So if I went more into center Tennessee or west
Or
or more
Arkansas.
east or Arkansas, it's like a swamp.
Yes.
It's not like that in East Tennessee.
You had a saying for that. I think you can call
Swamp Arkansas.
Swamp Arkansas. Yeah. Yeah. So I moved to Arkansas for a year.
And I said, "Hey Kevin, how's Swamp Arkansas?
Oh, man.
How's the Swamp Arkansas?"
And it was. It's not that. It's 10 hours from here where we were by Bentonville, the home of Walmart. And it was a huge difference. Only being 10 hours away, the humidity difference there is just so much worse than here. It made us even appreciate it even more here.
Yeah,
and
because you do get used to it.
Now that we're here, I don't even think about it.
No,
I really don't.
Even even a fat guy who can't stand humidity.
You said it.
I did.
Not as fat guy though.
Not as fat guy, but you get used to it here. It's very it's nice. But here's the thing. It's green.
Everything.
Everything grows real fast.
Yes.
If you don't like things growing and you have to get it cut back, that's a problem. Things grow so fast.
Yeah.
But it's beautiful and green. We put the top down and go out and on the convertible, and it's beautiful. And there's so many lakes. Go look in Clinton, Tennessee, and just count how many huge lakes. You'll see Norris. How many huge lakes are in the area?
Norris, by far, hands down, is the best lake.
It's so gorgeous.
I think in the country that I've been on, and you've been on,
I've
way
been all over.
more than me.
Yeah.
It's just everything about it. 800 miles of shoreline.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And Kevin lives on the other side of the lake.
The other side of the tracks.
East side. Yeah. But it is literally like a whole other lake.
It is.
It's a whole. It's even a different temperature. Like this time of year in the beginning, it's great to go near him because the water's warmer.
Yeah, it's about. I think the water temp right now is like 78, 80.
It was 80 when we went out.
Oh yeah,
last
80,
weekend. It was
81,
80.
Yeah, which is too cold for Amy.
Yes. Out, where I am,
she likes it a balmy 92,
yeah,
93.
balmy 91.
Yeah. She likes to be in a hot tub
spring
when she's surfing. Yeah.
But you go here on our side, and it's like right now it's probably 76, 77. It's usually like 3 to 4 degrees at least.
Yeah. Sometimes
5 degrees difference. It's deeper and near the dam.
Yeah.
Now, in August though, and early September, it's better. I like it here because it's hotter there. So you have those
that extra 4 or 5 degrees.
Yeah, and it's great making that choice. Now, so we're going to talk. We originally used to go out where Kevin is more. We lived more on that side. Kevin first moved here, and they moved to a house, and man, where it was on the lake was beautiful.
Oh yeah. The actual spot on the water was nice.
Now,
getting
to this house, I remember when Kevin went there, I'm like, Kevin, are you sure you're going to be able to do this every day? And Kevin was so excited to get out of the lake.
Get out of California.
Yeah, I don't care. And he's convincing his wife, no, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. You get car sick going to the house. It's
10 mile. It was a 10-mile windy road. When you made the last turn, it was a 10-mile windy road up the mountain to get to the house in the neighborhood, and it was literally 10 miles. It was 5 miles and then another turn and then 5 miles, and it made my wife sick. There were switchbacks.
And it took like 30 minutes.
Yeah, there were switchbacks where you were literally just making these 90-degree.
I don't know if I'd call that a switchback, man. It felt like a corkscrew.
And then a lot of the roads would get narrow. Like if you're towing a boat, I mean that was a thing. So
Tennessee narrow roads. Roads are narrow in Tennessee.
I think we lived there for a total of 5 months, and my wife says no.
Not to mention
this ain't gonna work.
Not to mention the e-ticket ride to get to the dock.
Yeah.
So Kevin's house was like on a hill.
Oh yeah. It's really high up.
It went down like 30 degrees or so.
It was lakefront house, 3.5 acres, I think. But you couldn't see the water from the house.
Yeah.
It's lakefront, but you can't see the water and this has something to do also with the greenery. There's so much greenery, so many trees. It blocks a lot of the view in some spots of where our house was located on the hill. You couldn't see the water.
We're actually pretty close to the freeway, but you can't tell. I feel like you're in the middle of the woods.
Yeah.
But here's the deal. When you got to Kevin's dock, it was heaven.
Oh yeah. The cove was awesome.
It's a private cove.
Mm-hmm.
It's
This was our old house, the original one.
Yes, the old house. It was a private cove. You get there, the water, you're swimming, then you go out on the boat, there's a restaurant.
Swimming with the turtles.
Because that's the thing, on Lake Norris,
20
what is there?
marinas.
20 marinas?
I think it's 20 marinas.
And like 15 of them have restaurants.
Yeah, bar and grills. A lot of them have bands that play Friday and Saturday
music.
nights, and bar and grills. And
Yes.
I mean, it's amazing.
They used to have more like that in California, not anymore.
In our boat, it'll take, in our boat going 30 miles an hour, it probably takes 2 hours to get to the furthest marina. 30 miles an hour, hour and a half maybe from where we're at to the furthest marina on the other side. That's how big the lake is.
It's huge.
2 hours, 30 miles an hour.
Yeah.
It's crazy. About an hour and a half,
huge.
maybe
Yeah.
not. We bought a dock, and
it would be 2 hours if you went all the way, because I did one time almost the whole way, and it took 90 minutes to get to Bubba's.
Yeah.
And Bubba brews this. Yeah. It's a honky tonk on the water, right?
A podunky, but I love it.
No, it's great.
Yeah.
It's great. So that's a blast, and that's where he lived. And they LaShawn couldn't take that drive.
5 months, couldn't do it.
I don't think Kevin could either. And now I remember one time Kevin gets his side by side and comes down to pick us up. The ride to get home,
back up to the house from the dock. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you for covering my context. You've been
I
so
gotta
good
get
at
some
that.
backstory. People don't know what you're
I say
rambling.
dumb things so they just ramble.
Yeah. They weren't there. They don't know.
Yeah.
I have to tell them.
We're going uphill. Dude, I put fingernail marks in the fiberglass. It was scary as heck. You can't see. Kevin knows where he's going. You just see blackness, and
dark,
you know that you're on the side of like a cliff.
Yeah.
And he's just like, don't worry, Rob. Whoa! And oh my God.
And I'll tell you too. I think I told you after
he's doing this too.
When we got up the hill, I said, Rob, I didn't think we were gonna make it. If I would have told him that at the bottom, oh man. No, there's
we
one
both
part,
had to revive Amy. She passed out.
There's one part that is particularly steep and add a lot of leaves, so it gets a little slick. And yeah. But we made it.
Yeah,
You're alive.
I'm alive. Now then,
so we sold that house because the wife says no way, can't do this drive.
Yep.
Just to get into town, it was an hour and 20 minutes to get to Lowe's or to Sam's Club or in her case Ross or Marshall's.
Yeah.
Or Kohl's.
Yeah, whatever.
But anyway, it was just it just didn't work. She couldn't deal with it.
Yeah, so they moved to Swamp, Arkansas, and you know what? For everybody, Arkansas is a fine place.
Yeah.
I'm just having fun, so please forgive me. But
it's true.
Although they're probably watching and go, nah, I got Swamp Arse.
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just context too. My 20, I think she's 28 now. 28-year-old daughter and 2 grandkids live there.
Yes,
so that's
which is
why
a good reason.
We moved there,
I
bought a
love
house.
my grandkids.
So we spent a year there.
Yeah. So they went to Arkansas, but they weren't sure they were going to come back.
Yeah.
And that was sad, and we were bummed about that. But understand. And they're there, and we kept in touch, and they came out and visited us. And we've been to some good lakes in Arkansas.
Oh, yeah.
You can go back in our thing.
Yep.
Although they don't have docks there, which
No,
is strange.
it's really weird.
Real weird. It's
the
like they don't
Army
believe
Corps of
in docks.
Engineers too. You can't. There's no moratorium. You can't even add a dock if there aren't any.
No, but not even
you're
at the
talking about
ramps.
no boat ramp docks.
No boat ramp
Yes.
docks. Doesn't make
Yes.
sense.
Yeah, you're basically just launching your boat into the water off a concrete ramp, but there's nowhere to tie it up to.
Yeah.
And then how do you pick the guy up that's parking the
How
car?
do you hold onto the boat and deal with your swamp arse at the same time?
Man.
You can't do it. And so that's a strange thing. But anyway,
Yeah.
so while they're there, they would come visit, and then they would also send me on wild goose chases.
Oh, my wife is a Zillow freak.
Yes.
She's on Zillow every day. She knows every house that goes for sale on this lake for the last 3, 4, 5 years. So we're in Arkansas. She's always on Zillow looking at the next house comes up, and we're 10.5 hours away. So she calls up Rob and Amy. Hey, what are you guys doing?
And
this
I was
weekend?
happy to.
Yeah.
And so
Take your
I say
drone.
wild goose,
Yeah.
and I would take my drone.
Yeah.
And I go and film and send it to them because I'd love them to come back. I love having Kevin and LaShawn around.
And we were on the fence because my wife really wanted to move back to California.
Yeah, she was.
So
sick.
it just context there too. Her family's there. She was born and raised there.
Her job is
I had
kind of still
9
there.
toes out the door, 10 years ago. But and I get it, and I love her. That's what she told me.
Anybody that's been married for more than 20 years or 10 or
Well,
whatever,
yeah.
no.
We've been together for 18, married for 12, I think.
Knows that you got to work through stuff.
Yeah.
So,
if she said we're moving back to California, I would be back in California.
Yeah.
Oh, can you edit that part out? But luckily, thankfully,
so we've been looking.
we found this place.
And then there's this one area that I have loved since I moved here. It's in an area there's a little town called Acuff over there, and it's where you're on the water in a beautiful private cove, very close to Bubba Brews, And
But it's a long cove.
Yes,
really
very
far
long
out of the
cove.
main channel. Yeah.
But it's right on the main highway, near Maynardville, where you can get on that highway and get to stuff. There's no windy.
That was
anything.
the challenge. The name of the town.
Maynardville.
Yeah, my wife had a hard time getting over that.
It is
Maynardville.
Maynardville.
Yeah, that sounds podunk.
That's where Jesse goes to go to 4-H.
She should, the town Andersonville, close to you. She really wanted, because Andersonville sounds
And we
normal.
go driving through there all the time, and like literally
Maynardville.
2 blocks away, I remember there's like this guy. I'm gonna get in trouble for this. He raises male chickens.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm gonna be careful.
What are they called? Male chickens?
In French, they call them les coqs. Les coqs. He raises les coqs, and you see these chickens, man. They look like they're gonna kill you, and they're tied up with
You could just say
chains.
rooster, too.
Yeah,
Just
the roosters.
rooster.
That's
I mean,
true.
you don't
That's
have to-
true. I can say rooster.
you don't have to say-
My uncle raised fighting les coqs.
Roosters.
Yes.
Fighting roosters.
Yes, and that's not stereotypical Mexican at all.
Well,
in
I mean,
Pacoima.
yeah.
No. And it's not at all. It's not stereotypical
Not
at
at
all. And so this is literally, so that's kind of, but on the lake, that spot where Kevin is, the house around there, they're gorgeous. So then he sends me, not only is it gorgeous, he finds like this house on a, not a steep hill, just kind of a hill.
Yeah.
And at the end of that
Walkable
cove,
slope.
with no windy roads getting to it, it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And I just said, if I felt like, if I didn't have our grandkids,
Yeah.
that I didn't want to be too far away from, I would have told Amy we're going to sell and try to get this ourselves. I mean, that's how much I loved this place.
If we ever sell it, he's buying it.
Probably. I said I'd have to get my grandkids involved.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I told Kevin and LaShawn, I said I'd buy it before you even look at it. Just figure it out. You know.
I mean, it was a very expensive fixer-upper.
It was.
I mean, that says
It was.
to say the least.
It was expensive, but
Fixer-upper.
it's gone up crazy in this
Fixer-upper.
market. It's still gone. My house has gone up.
But it
The house-
needed everything.
Yes.
But the location.
The guy was a pack rat. Man.
Oh, he got a hoarder, I think they call those.
Yeah, hoarder.
Yeah, even the pictures listed on MLS.
But he's from Tennessee, so he's very nice. about
Right.
it.
That's just how they are. Now, even the pictures they posted on MLS when they listed the house showed all the stuff in that. They didn't clean up. They didn't clean anything. It was crazy.
How many movie posters did he have in the living room?
Was movie posters in there?
Yeah, don't you remember there were all those movie posters?
I couldn't
those
get past all the crap on
Oh
the
my
floors
gosh.
and the counters and
Yeah.
the piles
And I
and
thought I
piles
ruined
of
it for him
clothes
because
everywhere.
when I went to look at the house the first time to take a look at it, I had to use the restroom, and I went in there and I used the restroom. And then I get out and he goes, "Oh, that bathroom doesn't work." Bye.
Oh, man. Yeah.
So anyway, but took the drone footage, told them they need to get there.
Yeah.
And we'll have to show it
Almost
during
a
the
year
summer.
now. It's almost
During the
been a
summer,
year.
we'll show
I think August is 1 year.
What are the odds? Are you staying? You think you're staying?
Oh,
Pretty
well,
good.
I want to.
I know
and,
you
And I
do.
think I'm pretty confident that the wife is actually loves this house.
Yeah.
There's still the factor. My wife has to fly back and forth to California.
Mm-hmm.
She's a nurse, so she has to work.
Yeah.
Somebody has to pay the bills.
Yeah.
But she flies back every month and a half for a week or two and works a few hours and then flies back. But the pay difference is so much better that it's worth it.
Yeah.
But she's fine with it. Everything worked out, and
So we're gonna
So far, so good.
we're gonna show some. We'll show some video over this summer because we're gonna be spending some time over there with them as
think?
well. And Kevin's got a beautiful dock with his lift and the boat on there, which Kevin bought from some guy that he met on the internet and had to drag the dock an hour and a half around the lake. Anyway.
Well, the first one was 9 hour drive on the water from one place to another to bring the dock to our house, the original house. But this one was only a couple hours away.
Yeah, a couple hours.
hours.
No big deal.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Yeah.
So So, but anyway, it's gorgeous. The house is beautiful. Kevin does everything himself, so he's rebuilt the inside of this house. It's gorgeous.
I'm not a contractor.
He's again, be very careful here. He's building a very nice deck outside as well.
Is it big?
It's a pretty good size one.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Let's move on. We're gonna move on. And it's it really is gorgeous. I can't wait. You guys will get to see it. And we've met, like we met the Potters and some other people that have been on our community, and they have condominiums. They're in a condominium. They live in Kentucky or Ohio?
They live here. No, they live here in Tennessee.
Oh, they do.
The Potters, yeah.
Oh, I thought they had enough. But there's the other family lives.
There's lots of families that live lots of
Anyway,
places.
but there's a lot of people that live in Ohio, and they come and they have
Norris is a very
big
touristy lake. A lot of people come from Ohio and other states. They either have vacation properties here or
what's
Airbnbs.
the word that the Tennessee people call? Don't say what it means yet.
FIFO.
FIFO.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah. The
first letter.
We'll leave it out.
But idiots from Ohio or
idiots
the
from
IFO.
Ohio, the IFO part, and it's very noticeable when you're on the one side of the lake and then you go over and the Ohio, and you know what? I have no problem with people from Ohio.
Yeah.
There's so many of you people
Oh,
that
well,
watch.
actually, they were originally from Ohio. Our friends. But
there
they don't own it though. They try to.
Yes, there is a difference though. That people that are local, they're very sweet, and they don't care sometimes for a lot of the people from Ohio. But it brings in a lot of money, and that's great for the lake because, like I said, the lake is gorgeous. Right. But
it's the select few that ruin it for everybody else. Gives all of them. 90% of them are probably great people, and
all the people are friends.
You got the small percentage of them that don't follow certain etiquette on the water, but that's with any. I mean, there's probably the same percentage of Tennesseans that do that as well. But it's just noticeable when it has OH on the boat and they're cutting your server off.
Yeah, and then they'll drive in with what's with a nav? What's the new Natique with the more expensive one?
The Paragon.
Paragon.
Yeah.
The other Paragon that has like 20 hours on it.
Yeah.
If they've had for 2 years or. Yeah. Anyway, and it's that kind of stuff. But for the most part, the people in the wake surf community have been great, and but. The lake is amazing. It's much better to live here, and here's why. Because the weather, it is more unpredictable. That's the one thing you have to get used to. It's a lot harder to plan a vacation.
It's tropical. I'd say it's very similar like to Hawaii, where it's nice and sunny, a little bit humid. It might just start raining out of the blue for 10 minutes, and then it's sunny again.
Mm-hmm. Like the best time,
I love that.
The best time to go out on the weekend, if you have to go out on the weekend, is if it starts to rain, go immediately after, or go out when it happens, and look at the radar, and you can see where where the water isn't, and you go find that part of the lake. I've done that many times. We call that the glory hole.
Yeah,
we go surf in the glory hole where the radar is clear, and nobody's there on a Saturday because it can be busy. And then for us, we live here 5 minutes from the lake, and we plan 2 days a week in the afternoons that we're going to go out. And one day it might rain, and another day it won't, and we just go, and that's it. And if you are living like that, this is amazing.
It's the life.
If you're planning vacations and coming to Tennessee, it's more difficult because
it's on the weekend.
Yeah, and you block this 1 week that you're going to spend your time. And then it might rain.
Yeah. You don't know what the weather's going to be, and it's unpredictable. Like you might look at the 10-day forecast, and by the time those last 4 or 5 days come, they're different than what it was. I guess that's anywhere they do the weather.
It is. But California is almost pretty much it's going to be sunny and hot.
Yeah.
And the worst thing is that sometimes you'll have a heat wave and it'll be unbearably hot. Where I remember finding the cold part of the lake up by the river and sticking my nose out because I couldn't take it. But so that's kind of how that is. But overall, I absolutely love being in Tennessee, and I miss my kids that are still in California, or kids that are not in Tennessee. Right. But I don't miss California.
No,
at
all. Zero.
I would, San Francisco was one of my favorite places. I grew up visiting.
Are we going to go into San Francisco?
No,
that is a mess.
It is so nasty.
I mean, everything you see and heard, if you're not from California, if you've heard how bad San Francisco's got. It's true. But I say it's 100 times worse than what you see. You don't see, it is as bad and 100 times worse than what you hear.
But it's such a shame.
Yes.
Because San Francisco was amazing.
Well, California is a beautiful state.
Yes.
It's a beautiful state.
It was.
We can't deny that. The weather, you're close
especially Northern California.
I mean, you're close to the ocean, you're close to the mountains, you're close to lakes, you're close to rivers. Like everything's within an hour to 2 hours. Everything.
But it's just not the same.
Yeah. Politics.
And Yeah, and don't get me started about the fires. Obviously, you know, our stuff all burned down, and we're here. So,
well, your house barely missed it.
Barely missed
Yeah,
it, which
by like a
ended
mile,
up not
right?
being
Did
a
you say?
blessing. We would have gotten, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah,
that's a long story.
Yeah.
But we love being here.
Yeah.
I'm not going back.
It was.
Kevin, I'm rooting for
if
him.
it weren't for the fire, though, that is one of the main things that brought.
Yeah,
me here.
we were thinking about it before the fire.
But it was definitely a catalyst.
That was like, okay, we're
straw
gone.
that broke the camel's
that
back.
was it.
Yeah.
That was the thing. That and at the same time that California, they passed this law about the giga economy tax laws, and you can't have contractors anymore. That also would have, if the fire didn't happen, that was a straw that would break, because I couldn't have a business anymore.
Right, yeah.
So
you'd have to pay all the benefits. You couldn't have subcontractors.
Yeah, I'm so glad we went through COVID in a free state. I shouldn't have said that. I'm so glad we went through that rough time.
What was that word?
In a free state.
I don't know what that
I didn't
means.
say. I said bovine.
Yeah.
I said bovine.
Yeah.
I'll have to edit that out. Anyway, I think, Kevin, man.
I have to pee.
You have to pee?
Oh, man.
Is that why you're walking?
I'm Sir Pees a lot.
Sir Pees a lot?
And I hadn't drinking 20 Coors Lights today.
Why don't you go ahead and go pee?
Yeah.
And do we have anybody who's asked any questions that we need to respond to?
I'll be back in 2 and 2.
So we're gonna, if you're watching online, if you're listening online, you have any questions, and I'm getting that there might be one coming in. So let me see if I can get that here. Kyle Fulford said that the marina was Tower Park Marina. Tower Park Marina in the Delta, the nasty marina that had the ramp, you know, like that. That was, Kevin, we have bathrooms. What the hell, Kevin?
Well, I want to be able to comment.
Oh, oh, I was just thinking, oh, please.
Why are you looking over here?
I was trying to make sure you didn't take your microphone with you.
Is there a camera over here?
No, there's no camera. Yeah. Let's go to camera 4.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So is there anything else? We
Tower
started this podcast very early and didn't give much warning.
Yeah, no breakfast, no donuts, nothing.
You're still sour about that.
I am.
We were planning on having chorizo and the whole 9 yards.
How did you say that?
Chorizo?
That's the first. I've never heard the Mexican accent.
Wait, what have I what have I called that?
Spanglish. You talk perfect English until you say chorizo.
Chorizo. Well, I'm not going to say chorizo.
Well, that's what it is.
It's not. It's chorizo.
Yeah.
It's chorizo.
Oh,
it's like a reporter.
Yeah.
Like when they're in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Yes. Hi. Yeah, we're over here on Avenida de los Árboles, and we are having, you know. Yeah. So.
Anyway.
All right. So I think we're gonna wrap it up, Kevin.
All right.
That was fun.
I
really
wash
enjoyed
my
that.
Hands.
Oh, Kevin.
Well, you reached
I
out.
did. There was no fuzz. I didn't think about it.
I think is it poison ivy? I used that.
Oh, thanks, Kevin. Yeah. Thanks. So I think we should do this again sometime. That was fun.
Maybe.
I
mean, we'll have to renegotiate the terms.
Okay.
The compensation package.
I'll make you some chorizo.
Chorizo.
Some chorizo and eggs.
That sounds good. That sounds delicious.
That sounds good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
and a donut. Thank you very much. Ragboy and Kevin, we are signing out.
All right, guys. Thanks.